Self-guidance is the silent force that separates those who drift from those who lead themselves through life with intention, courage, and deep personal responsibility. It's the skill of directing your own thoughts, behaviors, goals, and choices without waiting for someone else to push you, save you, or validate you. It is a powerful inner compass that keeps you aligned when the world is loud, chaotic, or unclear. At its core, guidance means becoming your own teacher, your own mentor, your own coach. Someone who doesn't just follow a path, but consciously creates one. You don't wait to be told what to do. You learn to observe, evaluate, reflect, and move forward from your own center of truth. The power of self-guidance begins with self-awareness, the ability to understand your triggers, patterns, strengths, weaknesses, and desires. When you're self-aware, you're no longer a puppet of impulse, emotion, or external pressure. You begin to see your life clearly, not as something happening to you, but as something being shaped by you. You look in the mirror and realize the person responsible for your future is staring right back. Self-guidance means learning from every mistake, and instead of blaming others, asking yourself, what could I have done better? It's about reflecting before reacting and making decisions based on values rather than fleeting feelings. You practice stillness. You pause. You question. You observe. You think before you move, and when you do move, you move with purpose. You build the ability to sit in discomfort without panicking, to delay gratification, to say no to momentary pleasure in exchange for long-term purpose. You learn to structure your days with intention, setting goals, managing your time, reviewing your progress. You build routines that reinforce your vision. You write your goals down. You track your habits. You get up when it's hard. You keep going when it's boring. You recognize that motivation comes and goes, but discipline rooted in self-guidance remains. Every time you choose responsibility over blame, action over procrastination, purpose over pleasure, you're stepping deeper into your power. You become someone who doesn't just react to life. You respond with clarity. You develop emotional maturity, understanding that not every feeling needs a reaction. Not every emotion needs an audience. You become the calm within your own storm. Self-guidance helps you take control of your thoughts, reminding you that you are not your emotions, not your cravings, not your doubts. You are the observer, the decider, the leader of your inner world. And when your inner world is led by strength, your outer world begins to shift. You stop needing approval, praise, or hand-holding. You stop waiting for permission. You stop seeking shortcuts. You take the long, hard road because you know it leads to freedom. You stop complaining and start creating. You stop comparing and start building. You stop consuming and start producing. You stop drifting and start deciding. You no longer live by accident. You live on purpose. You create morning routines that ground you. You build evening rituals that reflect you. You make solitude a strength. You sit with your thoughts. You face your fears. You ask hard questions and search for honest answers. You learn to say no to distraction, to noise, to everything that doesn't align with your higher self. You read to grow, journal to understand, and think to plan. You are no longer waiting for a mentor. You've become one for yourself. When life gets hard, you don't collapse. You coach yourself through it. When you're tempted, you remind yourself of your values. When you fall, you rise without excuses. You see struggle as training, failure as feedback, pain as a teacher. You don't numb the lesson. You extract it. You lead yourself through emotional chaos with grounded clarity. You are patient with your growth. You are firm with your standards. You are kind to yourself but never soft with your excuses. You learn to love yourself not just emotionally, but responsibly. You protect your peace, you honor your word, and you hold yourself to the vision of who you are becoming. You build your own systems. You hold yourself accountable. You track your time, energy, and focus. You design a life that pulls you forward instead of draining you. You reflect weekly, reset daily, and realign constantly. You treat yourself as your most important project, not just for a day, but for a lifetime. Self-guidance makes you dangerous in the best way possible. Because when you can lead yourself, no one can manipulate you, distract you, or delay you for long. You become unshakable. You become unstoppable. You walk into rooms with quiet power because you know who you are. You show up prepared, grounded, and focused. You take full responsibility for your success. And more importantly, you take full responsibility for your failures. You do not run from accountability. You rise to meet it. You don't shrink when things go wrong. You expand to solve them. You trust yourself, not blindly, but because you've earned it through consistent, intentional action. You no longer fear being alone because you've built strength in solitude. You understand that your most important voice is your own. You seek guidance, not dependence. You listen to others, but you lead yourself. You are open to feedback, but anchored in self-belief. You can take advice, but you don't need approval. You stand on your own 2 feet. And when you stumble, you don't cry for rescue. You rise, adjust your footing, and move forward. That's the power of self-guidance. It's quiet, but life-changing. It's invisible, but it shows up in everything you do. It turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. Not because they were born that way, but because they trained for it. They disciplined themselves. They believed in the long game. They built themselves from the inside out. And so can you. You don't need to wait for the perfect plan, the right mentor, or the ideal conditions. You are the guide you've been waiting for. You have everything inside you to take the next step. The way forward is not found in noise, in likes, in trends. It's found in silence, in truth, in reflection. The more time you spend with yourself, the clearer life becomes. Self-guidance teaches you that the world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. Effort, growth, action, and courage. And when you begin to honor that, you will unlock power you never thought you had. Because when you guide yourself, you don't just change your path. You change who you are walking that path. And that changes everything. You start honoring your time like it's sacred, treating your mental energy like currency, and making decisions not based on fear but on alignment. You become less reactive, more strategic, less needy, more self-fulfilled. You stop letting failure define you and start letting it refine you. You begin choosing the hard thing now to earn the easy life later. You talk to yourself like a leader, not a victim. You stop waiting for confidence to act. You act your way into confidence. You learn to sit with uncertainty instead of rushing to escape it. You stop blaming others for your emotional state and start managing your mind like a responsible adult. You stop trying to please the crowd and start pleasing your future self. You get comfortable saying no. You know that peace comes from alignment, not approval. You let go of people who drain you and invest in habits that build you. You don't chase attention. You attract respect. You stop just reading about growth and start becoming the living example of it. You practice your values. You walk your truth. You keep going long after the hype dies. You are becoming the kind of person you admire. You are becoming your own role model. You are becoming the kind of soul the world desperately needs. Grounded, wise, consistent, and self-led.